Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 11th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader and to give yourself better positive results, then certainly get signed up for the free live class. Now, one note, depending on when you watch this is going to depend on the situation. Meaning, if you're watching this tomorrow morning on Friday, well then yes, you already missed the class, but the live event will be recorded. So after it's done, after I get it uploaded, I'd be more than happy to send you a link so you can still watch it. So for example, if you're watching it on a Friday morning, still drop me an email, clay at claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you the link. Or if you're watching it Thursday evening, maybe you already have something on your schedule. I totally understand. Still, let me know, send me that email, and I will reply back to you with the link after the event has been done. But yeah, if you can make it live, then certainly get signed up. There's a link down in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So hopefully I'll see you there. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, the market is still open for a little bit, so that price there will still be changing, and the candlesticks themselves will still be changing. But I like to do these videos when the market's still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day action. And then I will also be using the 30-minute time frame. So if you're a beginner, all that means is that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So first stock here, ticker symbol HYMC, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched previous videos, but I put that trend line into place and, talked about how that was kind of the main dynamic to watch. And I mean, the power of charts. And are charts perfect? No, nothing is perfect, but are they a valuable tool that you need to have in your trader tool belt? Absolutely. And we have a real life example of that. So check this out. Like I said, this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the past ones, but put that line in place. And then this morning, rejected by it, rejected by it, rejected by it. And then when the price finally did break through it, I mean, the rest is history, an absolutely huge breakout. So overall, a big trend line break today on this one. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. But now the current level to keep an eye on, and this is a very interesting dynamic, is this level right up here at $1.40, which I assure you a bunch of people are watching. I mean, it got rejected from there a few days ago at the peak, and then once again, struggling right around that area. So that's not some sort of like secret discovery. Like I said, I assure you a bunch of people are watching that level. So when a lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements, and that is exactly what's going on here with $1.40. So there's no such thing as a guarantee in the market, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price can get back up there and break up through there, that could create a good upside, buying pressure and that much more momentum? Absolutely. So keep a close eye on it. Next one, AGRI, and a huge amount of volume today, as you can see down here. But what I like the most about this one is a good, well-defined pattern. And when you have well-defined patterns, it goes back to the whole idea I just talked about of self-fulfilling prophecies. So once more, I'm not saying this is some sort of great talent that I have to draw out this pattern. I assure you lots of people have drawn out this pattern. So the first part of this pattern here is just the resistance portion right up here. You can see several times whenever the price got up around 475, really just struggled to really gain or maintain any sort of momentum. And then on the flip side of that, have this area of support right here via that trend line. So let me actually change this to green to represent more so a bullish dynamic of the chart. And then maybe make this a little bit easier to see. Let's just keep this one color. So again, we have our resistance right here. We have our support right here. We have the big momentum move right here. If I were to put a golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual, we have ourselves what is known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennants, especially in this price range, especially when the bull pennant is hovering down, near the bottom part of the pattern, then I definitely have this one on your watch list for Friday. Next one, NIO, absolutely brutal day today. Yesterday on Wednesday was looking so strong, broke up through that level, and then today, obviously just completely gave up all the gains and then some. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. And the first level to watch is nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Literally just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was down here at that level of $17.25. But what makes it pretty interesting is that it was several times. I mean, so to give some credit or credit's due, the bulls were very stubborn. The bulls got very strong because the bears tried there to press downwards. Failed. So as of now, very apparently, there's a lot of people wanting and willing to buy at $17.25. Does that mean that's going to remain the case going forward? Of course not. Again, no guarantees. But my point here is it plausible? Is it a valid thought process to have to think that if the price comes down here, it could bounce again? That's absolutely not some sort of random thought to have. It makes sense. Now, that doesn't mean that it'll happen, but our job as traders is to avoid random situations, and by no means is that some sort of random situation down around 1725. Now, if this little miniature bounce does continue on upwards, key area of resistance to watch headed into Friday, going to be all about that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average, currently valued up around $18.60. But yeah, overall, very, very rough day. Next one, CEI, and this trend line here is still presenting problems, but I'm just going to get rid of that because, I mean, really in my mind, and the only reason why I think this is still interesting, why it's still on the watch list, is all about that green line there, which I've talked about for the past several videos at the dollar mark. And the point being, the price is still staying above it. Now, maybe I'm wasting my time to even think that it matters at all, but in my mind, it is showing that it's being stubborn. It's not letting the bears make any further progress, so maybe, just maybe, that's some sort of leading indicator of another surge of momentum to come. Once more, that's a two-sided coin. Maybe it doesn't mean anything, and maybe this thing is about to finally break down, and that's why, as always, risk management matters. But like I said, in my mind, it seems plausible to think, okay, yeah, this green line here being oh so stubborn. So maybe, just maybe, this is some sort of, confirmation that, the selling pressure has alleviated enough for this to make another move in the upwards direction. So like I said, guaranteed? No. Plausible? I think so, but let's see what happens with it on Friday. Next one here, AMC, and overall, not a hugely explosive day, but I would say a healthy day because, once again, the price came down to this support zone, which I've talked about over the past couple of videos, and to give credit where credit's due, not only did it hold strong, but actually caused a bit of a bounce here, and as I speak, you can see the last 30 minutes of the day. Pretty impressive. Of course, still more work needs to be done, but a good last 30 minutes here. But it all still goes back to what I've talked about in previous videos. Yeah, it's looking good, but nothing really to get too excited about because, unfortunately, the price is still down below that purple line there, the 50-period moving average, which has rejected the price before. So I'm not saying that the price can't break above it. I'm just saying that, yeah, as nice as this bounce is, the overall chart still hasn't really done anything, and the first step in quote-unquote doing something would be being able to get above that purple line and staying above it with the current value at $15.60. So $15.60 will be that first key level to watch from the resistance standpoint going into Friday. But overall, you do have to give some credit where credit's due. That support zone has once again held strong, so it's just a matter of how strong is this bounce. Well, let's see how the price behaves up at that 50-period moving average. Next one, XELA, and this is a good-looking chart, assuming you like to play a certain type of pattern, and the pattern being, or not necessarily a pattern, but more so a situation. Situation being good, solid momentum, and then you get yourself a pullback within that momentum. And what I like about these pullbacks is it alleviates a very common, and I would argue a very wise concern to have is, am I suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out? Am I chasing? Am I going to be the sucker that buys the top? That already happened. The suckers that bought the top were already buying up around there. So the price has pulled back, which, again, doesn't guarantee a winning trade, but it at least alleviates the worry of being the sucker that buys the top. So like I said, if you do like to play pullbacks that are occurring within overall upwards momentum, then this one is doing exactly that. And in my mind, a very interesting potential pullback point down there around the 82-cent mark. If you do like to, just play breakouts, then a very well-defined breakout point now up there around that 94-cent mark. You can see several times today the price tried to get up through there, but could just never really sustain any sort of momentum. But overall, a big volume day today. And if you like to play these penny stocks, then here you go. This is one that I definitely have on the watch list. Next one, AMD, and an interesting pattern here that's starting to take shape that I wanted to get drawn out here. So let me actually change that to green because that's more so the bullish support part of the pattern, the lower trend line. And then at the top, we have that right there. And this would be a poor man's falling wedge, but I think it's close enough to a falling wedge to keep an eye on. And a falling wedge, as bearish as it sounds, is actually a bullish pattern. Now, let me be very clear. Just because, and I wish I could say trading was this easy, just because there's a bullish pattern does not mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going to, make an upwards move. But it is a dynamic where falling wedges are bullish, and then if you were to hear the term rising wedge, that's actually bearish. But in this situation, falling wedge, and really in my mind, and this is more so from a bigger picture point of view, question number one, because the price has started to bounce, is, okay, well, can it bounce enough to get up to that upper part of the pattern? And if it can it actually push up through? And if it can, then we introduce that self-fulfilling prophecy, component again, where there's going to be a bunch of people who are watching this falling wedge and saying, hey, the top of the wedge has been broken. Let's see if we can get some continuation. But like I said, step one is first got to, the price got to get up to that area, which sits right around, let's call it the 109 mark. So 109 going to be that key area of resistance. If the price does roll back over, then you have a potential area of support at 103. But if the 103 does not hold right there, then completely valid to think that the price could then sink all the way down below $100 to then retest the bottom part of that trend line. But as of now, the price is headed back upwards, but it's definitely taking shape and forming a very interesting pattern. Next one here, ENSV, very, very nice pattern. And the reason number one why it's a nice pattern, other than the fact that there's some very well-defined levels, is this little miniature pattern occurring up above an upsloping 50-period moving average. So that just adds a little bit of, additional bullishness to it. But as far as the pattern and what I really like about it is, like I said, the well-defined nature of that line right there up at $5. I mean, I assure you, once again, a lot of people have drawn this trend line right there and are wondering, okay, if this price can get up to $5 and break above it, hey, then that would be a breakout, and because I'm a breakout player, I'm going to buy. There's a bunch of people thinking that. Now, again, does that mean that for sure the trade would work out? No. But is it plausible? Is $5 some sort of random area where you blindfold yourself and throw a dart and say, hey, I'm going to buy at $5? No, absolutely not. There's a whole lot of logic that goes behind it. So $5 is going to be that key area to watch. And then, in fact, why don't we just do this? I was going to draw a trend line, but let's just use the moving average right here as a trend line itself. So to make this all one color, again, we have our resistance there. I'll use that trend line as our support. We have ourselves a little ascending triangle pattern. So in my mind, everybody's going to be watching that $5 mark. Can the price get up to $5 and then push up through it? That'll be the big question mark, and why it makes sense, at least in my mind, to watch it tomorrow, hence get it on your watch list. Next one, FCEL, and if you're somebody that just likes to play good old-fashioned uptrends, I mean, it's hard to find a better looking uptrend than this over the past several days. I mean, you just look at these lows, and I mean, just absolutely classic. Higher lows after higher lows. If you picture those as stair steps, then I mean, you got to love this staircase that is being built. Including a very strong afternoon here. I mean, basically just grinding upwards the entire afternoon long. But as far as next potential battlegrounds, in fact, let me actually zoom out. Does this high correspond with anything else? Let's see. So very clearly, this is the highest it's been. I'm curious. Is that, and I don't know, I'm eyeballing this, but is that the same? Because I see this high right here. So, and this high right here. Does that correspond? It does. It does. Okay. So right up here at, the $7 mark. You can see through the history of things, $7 rejected the price, and then right here is once again rejecting the price. So as I zoom back in, now you can see a better understanding of where that $7 mark comes from. So $7 will be that main area of resistance. As far as supports are concerned, if you like to play pullbacks, interesting level right there at the $6.60 mark, and then also just from a moving average standpoint, the 50-period moving average, as it's already demonstrated right there, you could logically expect to act as support. Again, not guaranteed to act, but logically act as support if the price were to pull back. But as of right now, the price is creeping back up to that $7 mark. So let's see if the break can happen. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and some interesting dynamics here. For those of you that watched yesterday's video, I was so excited about, all right, what's going to happen with this trend line, which I've been tracking now for several days. The price was right below it, and then there really wasn't any suspense. Tesla gapped down and then just completely collapsed. So yes, that trend line has once again shown up as resistance. But to be fair, and what makes this now interesting quite a bit headed into Friday is Tesla has had a very nice bounce in the upwards direction. But before you can even really focus too much on that trend line, the first level that it needs to get through is up here around 845, and this is based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So that'll be that initial level at, we'll call it 845, followed by the trend line up there. If the price does pull back at all, then definitely a main area of support is going to be right there at that 810 mark, which generally speaking, you can see had some supports right there, and then right where it bounced from today. So if this were to roll back over, then you got to think that there's a bunch of shorts watching that level and saying, okay, if this breaks, that could create another surge to the downside. But overall, because Tesla has shown quite a bit of strength this afternoon, completely relevant to be focused on 845 and then potentially even that overall trend line up there around the 856 mark. So Friday's shaping up to be a very, very interesting day. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Or like I talked about at the beginning of the video, if you can't make it either because you're watching this Friday and it's already happened, or you already have something on your schedule this evening, then go ahead, drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to the recording after I get it, because the event first needs to happen, and then I got to get it uploaded. But then after that, I'd be happy to send you that link. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to devote my time putting these together, then please let me know, because they do take time to scan, to analyze, and I will continue to do them as long as I know that there's interest. And the easy way to communicate that to me, hit the like button, leave a simple comment. Just say hi. Give me a smiley face. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things, hitting the like button, leaving a simple comment down below, communicate to me that you enjoy these. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to make them. So definitely, again, like I said, either get signed up for the free class tonight or drop me an email, and hopefully I'll see you in just a few hours.